Hi, this is part 3 of lesson 5.4, and we are going to be continuing dividing polynomials, but we're going to learn in this lesson how to use what's called synthetic division. Now, let's look at an example using long division. So we're doing the problem twice, but we're going to do it with two different methods. So x plus 2, let me click on a pen here, goes into x cubed minus 14x squared plus 51x minus 54. So first, remember with long division, it's divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So x times what would give me x to the third? It would be x squared. And now we multiply, so that's x cubed plus 2x squared. And now we subtract. Remember that step. So that gives us, let's see, this cancels, negative 16x squared plus 51x. That was bring down. Now back up to the top, divide. So x times what would give you negative 16x squared? So you'd have to multiply by a negative 16 and another x. Now we multiply that times each term. And then we'll run our negative through. Minus a minus is a plus. So we have 83x. And then we bring down the next term. So x times what would give you 83? It would be 83x, okay? So that would be 83x plus 166. And then subtract. So this cancels. And that would give us what? 220, a negative 220. Sorry, I'm just looking for a paper here real quick. And that is the remainder. So remainder of negative 220. So that's your answer there. That is using long division. We have some bigger numbers going with that one. Now, I want to show you how we can do that same problem using synthetic division. Now, you're dividing by x minus 2. Synthetic division works if you have a 1x right here. Like if this was an x squared, you couldn't use synthetic. It only works with what we call a linear term. So if x plus 2 is a factor, if that's a factor, remember if you wanted to solve, you'd set it equal to 0. So x would equal a negative 2. That would be a solution to the equation, okay, if it is a factor. So what we do is we're going to use a substitution with a negative 2, synthetic substitution. So that's the big thing. You always have to use the opposite sign of what you see right here. And now we're just going to use the coefficients. So we have 1, negative 14, 51, and negative 54. So let's bring down a 1. And remember now it's multiply, add. So negative 2, and then add that, that's a negative 16. Multiply, that's 32, and add, that's 83. Multiply, that's negative 166, and add, you get negative 220. Take a look at these numbers. You have a 1, a negative 16, an 83, and negative 220. Look over here. That's a 1, that's a negative 16, that's an 83, and there's your remainder. So by using synthetic, we get the numbers, and what we have to realize then is what the pattern is. When you're dividing into x to the third, x into x to the third, you start out with an x squared. So if this is x to the third, you write x to the second right here, minus 16x plus 83, and then that's your remainder. So it's x squared minus 16x plus 83 with a remainder of negative 220. There you go. That's using synthetic division. So let's do another one. So if x plus 3 is a factor, x equals a negative 3 if you solve, okay? So we're going to now divide, use synthetic division with a negative 3. So first check your exponents. 3, 2, 1. Yep, we're good. So 2, that's a 1. Then we have a negative 8 and a 5. Bring down, so you have a 2. Multiply, so we have a negative 6. So 1 minus 6 is negative 5, so we're adding. Multiply, you have 15. Add, you have 7. Multiply, you have negative 21. Add, you have a negative 16. Okay, so this is the remainder right here. So now if this is x to the third, this is going to be x squared. This will be a x and a plus 7, like that. All right, and then this is the remainder, and there's your answer. All right, let's do it again. So, first of all, you have x plus 2, so x equals a negative 2, so that's what goes out front. This is a 1. We don't have a squared term. Watch that. So we're going to have to put in a 0, and then negative 57 and 56. So we wrote all the coefficients. So x cubed, x squared, x. Yep, we're good. So bring down the 1. Multiply, you have negative 2. Multiply, we have a positive 4. So this is a negative. Then when we add, we get negative 53. Multiply those together, that would be a positive 106. And when we add that, that'd be 162. So now to write the polynomial, if this is x cubed, this will be x squared minus 2x minus 53 with a remainder of 162. There's your answer. A little bit easier than the long division. Okay, this next one, it's a word problem. It says the polynomial x cubed plus 7x squared minus 38x minus 24 expresses the volume in cubic inches of the shadow box shown. What are the dimensions of the box? Okay, so first of all, x plus 5 is one of the dimensions. So that's the width. We have to find the length and the height of it. So basically, what we want to do is divide that in. First of all, okay, so x plus 5 is a factor. That's one of the factors, so x is equal to a negative 5 in that case. So we're gonna divide in negative 5 into this using synthetic. So we have 1, 7, negative 38, and negative 240. One second here. Okay, I had to just fix something on my other computer. All right, so we're going to start out by bringing down the 1. So then we have a negative 5. Now we have a 2. That would be a negative 10. That would be a negative 48. And that would be, let's see, a positive 240. And when we add that, we get 0. So there's no remainder. So then the polynomial would be 1x squared plus 2x minus 48. So what we have here for factors would be the x plus 5 and the x squared plus 2x minus 48. Now this time, we're not solving, we're just looking for the factors. Now this can be factored again. So the width is x plus 5, and this can be factored as a trinomial. It will factor into 2 binomials. So the factors of 48 that have a difference of 2 would be 6 and 8. So it will be plus 8 minus 6. That would give you 2x. So these are your dimensions. Okay, the length is greater than the height or the depth. So let's see. So this is the width, and then the length is going to be is greater. So this is going to be the length because that's going to be x plus 8. So it's going to be a bigger number than this. And then this is your height. All right. And then we're going to go ahead, do this next problem. This is actually out of the textbook. So let me look at this problem real quick. This will be one of your problems in your assignment. So make sure you have this one written down on a piece of paper. Let me just look at the instructions real quick here. So number 29, use synthetic division and give the given factor to completely factor each polynomial function. So this one, they want us to completely factor this. And so right now what we're going to do is we know one of the factors is x plus 1. So we're going to write x equals -1. And then now we'll write the coefficients. So you have a -1. That's a -1. And then that's a +6. Okay, so we know that's a factor. So there, remember, factors divide evenly. So this is 1x squared plus 1x minus 6. This is then another factor. So we have x plus 1, and then we have this. Those two multiply to equal the original. And then you just factor. Now we are able to factor this because it's a quadratic. So that would be x and x. Factors of 6 that have a difference of 1 would be 3 and 2. Those are your factors. So if you know one factor, if it's a cubic, you can find the other factors. All right, let's do the next problem. This is number 21. This is in your assignment, and it says use synthetic division. Now, you could use long division, but you can use synthetic also, which is going to be easier. So the factor is x minus 1. So x equals a +1 if you set that equal to 0. So +1 is what we're going to put in. So then we have 1, 3, -1, and -3. So 1, bring it down. So we have 1, add 4. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we have 3. 3 times 1 is 3. And there's a remainder of 0. So that was x to the third. So this would be x squared plus 4x plus 3. And that's our answer. Here are your answers here for you too. Okay, guys, so this is your assignment right here. But actually, I cut this down. I want you to, I think what I took off were these problems right here. So do 21 through 28. And 57 through 31. So get those done and look back through the video. If you get stuck on what to do for a section, look back through the video because I've done examples throughout here. All right, so let me know if you need help. Remember, I'm available after school every day and Fridays. Thanks for watching.